Hello and welcome back to the garden. So this little video is I'm just going to do a little bit of a tour around the garden and show you some of the frost damage that we've had during the winter season there. And also as we go around the garden, I'll show you some of the the highlights of new things that are starting to sprout, and any issues and stuff that I've encountered. So this will be predominantly a tour of the back garden, but it will feature a little bit in the front garden as well. So let's go and have a look. So starting down near the patio and pond area, we have the Washingtonia palm, which has been in and out of the garage most of the winter season. So every time it's been below -2, it's been moved into the garage. So it has sustained some frost damage from when it's been out, which has been at the -2 level. But we can see that the central spears are all good, and the new leaves that are emerging are looking good on there. So what's quite normal with the different types of fatsias is that you get the new growth. Sometimes you get the new growth starting there, and then it gets frosted off. But I'm not worried about that because you always get these side shoots coming off, which then form the new trunks and stuff. So it tends to happen every year. So yeah, not really an issue with them because they are pretty hardy. At the back of the patio here, I've got two variegated fatsias. One on the left has done really well. This one not so much. It was really set back in the autumn and I wasn't really sure what's wrong with it. But you can see on here the middle bit I chopped off, but you can see you've got buds either side of it, which are going to form the new trunks. So again, being a fatsia and pretty hardy, I'm not really concerned about that. So as we move around, we've got a Xanthidescia, which has barely been covered all winter. And I don't know whether it's just because it's near the formium here, but it hasn't gone to complete mush, which is a bit of a surprise really, considering it's been about -5 in the garden. And you've got a little bit of overhead cover from the Trachycarpus on there. Some flowers on this flowering currant. Moving down here, hostas are starting to come up, which is good. Rhubarb's fully up. This one being a slightly sheltered location. You can see this fatsia, no issue with the centre at all on that. We've got the fritillarias, which are looking really good at the moment, and a little bit of, there's some flowers on the acacia there. So all of the things like the yuccas and stuff, they're all really hardy. So, and the Trachycarpus as well. So no issues with those at all. So then moving up the garden, all of the Butea palms looking good. The euphorbias, for me, when the euphorbias start to flower, is really at the start of the season. So they always look herald the start of spring, really, particularly for me in this garden. Let's go through here. So you can see my seedlings are doing really well now. The Trachycarpus wagnerianus. It's a quick look in the greenhouse. So there is some plants that are going to come out today. So the Trachycarpus princeps, which is the small palm there with all the black stones around it, that one will be coming out today. And There's another trachycarpus in the centre of the frame there, with again the black stones around it. That is a Fortunii crossed with a Princeps. It should have a bit faster growth rate on it. But they are safe to now take out of the greenhouse, whereas a lot of this other stuff I'm basically going to leave in, because although we haven't got any frost due in the next 2 weeks, I really want like maximum growth out of everything. So I don't want things to get stunted by putting things out too early. If we go into the greenhouse, what's really nice to see is the colocasias I took sort of cuttings of are actually growing all right in the greenhouse. I've got at least a couple which have survived. Hopefully some more, because I think I've lost the main plant on there. And all of my bromeliads seem to have come through okay, as well as the kind of, you know, the lemon trees, and the Washingtonias in here looking really lush and green on there. So coming out of the greenhouse, as we work our way around the garden, we've got Persicaria starting to come up, which is a good sign. Even though, you know, even if we do get a frost, it gets frosted off and then it immediately rebounds really quickly. One plant I do want to show you is the Tetrapanax here. This one's had some covering in the winter, just a little bit of wrapping around the stems on the very coldest of nights, but this is in quite a sheltered position. We've got the cabin at the side of it, there's a trachycarpus to the front, and there's a massive hedge to the rear of it, protecting it from northern wind. And yeah, it's now a decent size. This is one of my better specimens, and yeah, it's just growing away really quickly. Nice to see all these new leaves coming out, and hopefully we won't have any hard last minute frosts, so that should continue to grow quite well. Actually, from the back here you can really see the trachycarpus. They were about 30 centimetre trunk when I put them in early 23. So yeah, it's put on at least a foot of growth, if not more, in those kind of 2 years that they were in. And yeah, really impressed by that. They will get quicker growing as they really get bedded in. So the Butiagris erythropatha it's got a little bit of frost damage on some of the leaves, but the central stem is nice and firm, nice and green. So I will remove the oldest of the leaves. So leaves like this, for instance, will get taken off soon, probably in the next few weeks, just to allow more light and the air and everything to get to the centre. And I'm hopeful that this is actually quite a quick growing palm, so I'm hopeful that it should have got its roots in now, and we should get some really good growth on that this year. So moving through this bed, we've got a lot of Yucca rostratas and Thomsonias, and various other yuccas and palms, and other plants in here, all of which super hardy, doesn't need protecting, so I just let them do their thing. Pretty impressed this year. We had last year the centre of this one completely spear pulled out. This is a Camerops familis, and this year my technique was literally just to throw a bucket over it in the coldest of nights, and that seems to have provided just about enough protection just to stop it from spear pulling. And then eventually that's going to grow into a nice palm, but very time consuming. So the patio area, bamboos are doing what bamboos do, really robust, no damage to them from frost or anything like that. So they're looking really good, really pleased with those. We have the Bahar Mata, which is been out most of the winter outside and then occasionally brought in for a few of the very, very coldest of nights. And it's nice to see that even the newest leaves are just starting to try to open there. Got a little bit of damage to the Mahonia. For some reason this stem seems to have died off, but the rest of the plant is looking fine. So what I might do is, you can see on the stem here, if I zoom out a little bit, we've got a new shoot coming off the side here and we've got a new shoot further down. So I'll probably chop it off somewhere here and that will allow the new growth points to do its thing. So I presume that's some frost damage on that one. We've got a little bit of frost damage to the passion flower at the back there, but otherwise it's looking good. Moving up to my little swamp pond area, we've got the Gunner and Menacata in the middle of the frame there. Lots of new leaves coming out from lots of growth points. That's really good to see on that one. And in the background we've got the newly planted Fatsia Camouflage, which is looking really healthy. That seems to have settled in nicely on that one. We have another Tetrapanax here, which ironically was bigger than the other one I showed you, but is now, although it's got a slightly thicker stem, it's a little bit shorter. But you can see we had, on the very frostiest of nights, the old leaves kind of got sort of burnt by the frost. But you see the leaf that was a little bit further back has not sustained too much frost damage, and I think that's purely down to the fact that we've got sort of overhead trees and stuff above it. So the temperature must have been marginally warmer, and that's fine. But what's really exciting is look at all that new growth, all those new leaves exploding out of the stem. So really, really pleased with that. So this should be a brilliant specimen this year, and this whole kind of corner will be filled with its massive leaves. So that's really cool. Looking down here, I trimmed back the other day the Miscanthus giganteus, and you can see, even from when I've trimmed it back, these shoots I'm sure were tiny the other day and they're just springing up really quickly, as is this other variegated grass around here. We've got loads of new growth just because we had a few days of sort of 18 to 20 degrees. It was amazing, much warmer. It's gone cloudy now, but yeah, so just having those few extra days has really boosted everything. Really, I think this year compared to last year, I'm just a lot more impressed of what plants have come through winter in a better state. I think it's because they're a bit more mature, so that's really good. That's really helped. It's just meant that in theory I've got less work to do, less kind of replacing a plant, and yeah, I've got less of that kind of stuff to do, and I can just enjoy the garden. This area here is where I'm going to put the colocasia black stem. I took loads of cuttings last year and I'm hoping to move the main plant, but the main plant is looking quite mushy, so unless it comes back from the root underneath, which it might do, I don't know whether I've lost that one or not, so we will have to see on that one. Let's go and have a quick look at just in front of the garage and the front garden, just as I go past, I just want to show you a thing down here. So we have absolutely loads of tadpoles in the pond. So they've all seemed to have hatched, which is good. And as per usual, I don't know whether we can, I'll try and zoom in, but we've got, try and zoom in, it's probably a bit much. We can't really see because of the focus on it. But we do have newts in the pond. They arrive every year. There's usually absolutely loads of them. But I don't mind because it's all part of the balance really. So we always have loads of frogs and toads around the garden, and the newts, although they probably eat some of the tadpoles, ultimately it balances out. So that's that one. So let's have a look round the side here. So this is a Canary Island date palm, and that's been in and out of the garage all winter. So on warmer days it's been put outside, and anything below -2 it's been put in the garage just to protect all the new kind of growth on it. It's all looking really healthy and green, and yeah, so it's looking really good on that one. Just to the side of it we have 2 Camrops familis. This one's done better. We've got lots of new growth in there, and it's literally just the older leaves that are frosted, so they will get chopped off. The one on this side, that had a really difficult year last year. It spear pulled, and it took ages and ages, and then eventually a spear came up through the middle, and we've got these sort of slightly deformed smaller leaves, but eventually it will get growing again. So let's have a look down in the front garden via the Clematis amandii, which smells absolutely amazing with all this new flowers, which is really cool. You can see my roses have all kind of leafed up in the last week quite a lot. Got the viburnum, which is suddenly lots of flowers and first leaves of spring. Epimediums are all starting to come up. We've got some nice flowers down there, and the lovely smell from the Daphne. Even the hedge is starting to, the privet hedge, we've got lots of new leaves forming on there. So the front garden, I don't really need to go too much into because I've done quite a lot of previous videos of where that's at. But I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. We've got a little bit of frost damage on the cordyline Torbay Dazzler. I mean, we've got the central leaves in there, absolutely fine and untouched. We've got the growth point still growing nicely, but it's just a little bit of browning on the leaves, which is down to frost. And the cordyline red star, again, we've got a nice strong centre, so it's not pulling or anything like that. And the stem itself is nice and firm, but we do have quite a lot of dead leaves on it. It's obviously is a fairly young plant, but it will rebound pretty well. Other kind of things that are not gone too well. So this particular rose seems to have, it's got new buds on it, albeit very small, but it seems to have set back a lot more than some of the other ones that I've moved. Got one to the side here, which is its kind of show where it should be at. So ultimately, if that one fails, I'll take it out and put a different plant in there. And to be honest, I might do that anyway because there's 2 roses quite close together, It's probably a bit too boring. The yucca really struggled on the transplanting. You can see that the older leaves are quite brown and need to be cut back, but we've got a decent central stem on there, and we've got a nice new growth point here, which is fine. So that will put out loads of leaves this year, and yeah, it looked really decent. Other than that, everything else looking pretty good. Got lots of new growth on the sedums, the persicaria. They're all kind of the existing planting, and you know, even things like goldenrod are all starting to come up, which is good to see. The euphorbia didn't transplant too well, but still green, and I think that will bounce back fine on there. This bed's generally doing pretty well. Lots of new buds on things, and we've even got, this was the original only leaf on here, but we've got now 2 leaves coming out on that. That's good to see. I guess there's a couple of leaves on the camarops, and this one's sort of slightly yellower than the other ones, which could be removed, but we'll just let that settle in. From there, lots of new growth on the red robins. They're all kind of shooting. The Cerinthians sort of set back a little bit with the cold, but they will bounce back soon, and they will flower in the spring, well, in sort of May time. So the Japanese forest grass is all starting to come up, so I'm excited to see the kind of the bank of grasses there and there. And we've got a 2 choisias here. We've got the regular choisia, I think it's Tanata. That one was set back a little bit from being moved, but it seems to be sort of recovering now, so fingers crossed on that one. The magnolia at the back has moved well. That's got loads of new buds on it, so I'm pleased with that one. The choisia Aztec Pearl is not doing very well. That's got hit by the frost and potentially dried out because its root system wasn't huge, but hopefully with that one it will survive. But if not, I do have a backup, which I will put in a Eleagnus Bengii in here with the bigger kind of green leaves, and to be honest, that might be a better option long term, so it might not be a bad thing that this one has failed. The new Trachycarpus have got really decent leaves coming out of there, so really excited to see a nice new canopy on that one. The Acer, we've got new leaves just starting to come out. Get those into focus. Yeah, we've got new leaves coming on those, so that was part of the original design, so that hasn't been transplanted, but it's actually growing into a really nice tree now. It's a lovely lovely shape on that one. And the final bed to show you really is at the front. We have a few things that have been transplanted. So we've got the Dicksonia antarctica down here, which is kind of awaiting. The dead leaves I'm going to remove soon when there's the signs of the new fronds coming up. And yeah, so, but you can kind of see from the dead leaves what sort of size it's going to be, if not bigger this year. So it's going to fill that space nicely. All the grasses are transplanted well, and we've got some nice red hellebores in the background, as well as the Canary Island date palm. This is a good location here. So just waiting for the signs of the centre of this palm starting to grow. You've got new leaves coming up here and here. The ends are a little bit browned off, but they're definitely not spear pulled. they're actually in good nick. So yeah, so that's that one. So that's really, yes, there's a few failures in the garden that might be complete failures, but they, again, they're opportunities to uh, change it up a little bit and put something else in instead. But overall, most of the garden has got through the winter really, really well, and we've got some nice signs of spring with new buds forming on plants, and expecting decent growth rate this year because everything's really settled in. We're kind of on the third year of the tropical style garden kind of replant from the existing garden. So they should have, most of the plants should have got their roots down, certainly in the back garden, and we should be in a good position to see really good growth this year. I will obviously do my usual kind of tracking of that through various videos, and I'll have focuses on different types of plants and little tutorials on things. If you're interested in this style of gardening, then please do take a look at the sort of back catalogue of videos where I do hints and tips on things and show all the different projects and how things are progressing. I'm intending to do more kind of helpful sort of videos and advice videos really as the garden matures and there's obviously less progress and less projects. I basically want to do more videos about helping you guys to start your kind of tropical garden journeys. So really want this type of gardening to sort of take off in the UK, and if I can help with that, then that's brilliant. So just going to end the video on just showing you this amazing magnolia, which is the Magnolia Galaxy. Got lovely dark purple flowers on there, and every year it gets bigger and better, and it's a really nice focus to the garden, and having a magnolia actually in a tropical style garden kind of works. So even though this is part of the old design, yeah, I think that really suits. So I just want to end the video by saying thanks to everybody who have subscribed already, and if you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button, and hope you're enjoying the videos, and I will see you guys on the next video.